Welcome back, traders. Okay, so today we have a speech coming out by the Bank of England's Governor Carney. He's going to be speaking in about 12 minutes. So what I'm doing is I'm just showing you how do I sort of prepare. So I'm just showing you how do I prepare an existing trade for a news event that's coming out. Now we've been trading this British pound Canadian dollar for a while, and it's been going very nicely. We're at over 300 pips at the moment, but obviously I don't want to lose too much of this, and I also don't want to lose out the opportunity on making a lot more should things go in my direction. So the trick is to adjust your stop loss. Now what I'm looking at here is we entered the market at about this green level, and we kind of shifted the stop loss up and up and up, and now I need to find a new place that's higher up. So if the news does come around and work against us, then we're not going to lose out on all of this potential 150 pips that we've made above our current stop loss. So we're looking for the next logical point for it, and it's reasonably easy on this one because we can see that we had a low here. The market has been moving up with a little dip, up, little dip, up, and so on and so forth, kind of like steps moving up, and luckily we have a step right here to do. So all I need to do on this trade is I'm going to move my stop loss up to here, give it a little bit of breathing room below, and now even if the news works against me, this trade will still walk off with over 200 pips in profit, which is still a good trade. If the news works for me and it continues this motion moving up, well, then we get to move our stop loss again. We should see the market start going a little bit crazy at the moment, so I'm going to drop down to a 15-minute time frame on this, just so we can get more details about what's happening. Now you can see I'm not the only trader preparing for this news event. You see how big these candles are compared to how it's been overnight? It looks like a lot of people are starting to prep for it. So we're just going to sit and watch and see what happens. I'm not going to expect you to sit and watch a boring chart, so I'll probably do one of those fast forward things. Okay, we have a few minutes coming up before this speech comes out. So I'm just going to show you a trick that we do for the NFP. Now this news event won't be volatile enough for this to work properly, but it is good practice to get in for something like the NFP. What we're going to do is we're going to set two pending orders. Now we can see that we have a high here and a low there, and if this were the NFP, one of these lines would be broken definitely very quickly, but we may even get something off this event. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a sell stop at the bottom here and a buy stop at the top here. And I'm just going to set small amounts. So we go to trading and we have a sell stop. And it's automatically entered for the last amount that I had, which was 0.01. And just above this line, we're going to enter a buy stop. And there we have it. Now, when the news comes out, something like the NFP, which is incredibly volatile, the market will shoot off in one of these directions. We will hopefully grab a couple of those pips and then close it very quickly. So let's see if we're lucky enough to get something like that off a speech as well. So let's see if we are lucky enough to get enough volatility out of this. As you can see, we have 2 minutes to go before the speech starts. So let's watch and see what happens. Well, the time has come, and now he is standing up and having a bit of a speech. We don't even need to watch the speech live. We just want to see what is going to happen in the markets itself. As he releases information and as he gives details on the upcoming monetary policy of England, we'll see the market start jumping around in various directions. And we may even see a change in direction completely, but that is why we have our stop loss set all the way down here, is that we're still in a lot of profit. We don't want it too close because the speech could come and trigger the stop loss and then keep moving up. So we would have lost out on all that potential profit. So that's why we keep a breather, as well as the fact that we entered this off a 4-hour chart. So it makes sense for us to, have our stop loss based on the 4-hour chart.
The economic scenario in the 2017 stress test is more severe than the deep recession that followed the global financial crisis. Vulnerabilities in the global economy trigger a 2.4% fall in world GDP and a 4.7% fall in UK GDP. In the stress scenario, there is a sudden reduction in investor appetite for UK assets, and sterling falls sharply.
Well, this is far less interesting than I was hoping for. It doesn't look like anything major is really coming out. They're really discussing how they're going to be handling Brexit, basic economic policies, and just saying that the British pound is going to be fine. The only way that the pound would really struggle is if they have several bad things happening all at the same time, but even then they have contingencies in place for that. So honestly, I don't think this news event is going to change too much. We're certainly not going to see a volatile enough movement to bother with these two trades here. So I'm going to go ahead and close those. I will leave my stop loss where it is because that makes a lot of sense still right now. And I'll come back and look at my trades later and see if this news event has actually changed anything significant.
Because of higher economic uncertainty or greater perceived downside.